Hello and welcome everybody to this video guide on Luigi's Mansion 3's online multiplayer mode, ScareScraper. If you're already familiar with the Luigi's Mansion series, you might already know a bit about it, as there was a mode with the same name in Luigi's Mansion 2 or Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon if you're from the US. However, this updated version is actually a bit different from the old version, so even if you already played Luigi's Mansion 2, stick with me as I go over the basics of the ScareScraper in Luigi's Mansion 3. So real quick, what is ScareScraper? It's a game mode in which you can complete floors filled with ghosts and treasure to reach the top and fight the boss. You can choose to play on either 5 or 10 floors. If you play on 10 floors, you will actually have a mini boss on floor 5, which is different from the top floor boss, Bulus's. And yeah, again, if you're familiar with the series, that's actually the boss from Area 3 in Luigi's Mansion 1. So, and with that out of the way, let's talk about objectives. What do you actually need to do to win in the game? There are actually a couple different objectives, and every floor will have a random objective. First up is capture all ghosts. This one is pretty straightforward. You just go about capturing all ghosts on the floor you're on. You can see on your map which rooms have ghosts in them and which ones do not have ghosts. Don't waste time lingering in already completed rooms or in rooms where no ghosts are present. Also, ghosts never appear in hallways or on balconies, so keep that in mind. The second objective I'm going to talk about is collect the money. It's also pretty simple in concept, but this is actually the objective most people fail on from what I've noticed. So what's important here is that in most rooms there are no ghosts initially. However, this can be a bit deceiving. If you pay attention to your map, which is probably a good idea anyways, you will notice that many rooms have an icon indicating that there are ghosts present. So after a few moments in a room marked with a ghost icon, a piece of furniture should begin to glow. This can also be a yet to be discovered piece of furniture. If you see the golden sparkles in the air, shine your dark light on it and interact with the furniture to have the golden goops come out. Of course, the dark light doesn't have to be used if the furniture is already visible. This is the key to collecting a lot of money, as those ghosts drop tons of treasure. The third objective is find the toads. In this mode there are 4 toads scattered around the floor for you to find. You start out in a room with a TV. That's where you need to bring the toads back to. A solid strategy is to enter every room to see if there's a toad and ignoring the ones that don't. Toads are always in rooms with ghosts, so you need to defeat them before the toad will follow you, because they get scared whenever they see ghosts. So once you got a toad following you, bring it back to the TV in the room where you started and send him back to EGAT's lab. Once all toads have been returned, the floor is complete. It's important to know that if you enter a room with ghosts while a toad is following you, the toad will get scared again and you will have to defeat the ghost in order to progress any further, potentially wasting precious time. Lastly, we have defeat the crows. It's always a really easy objective to complete. It's essentially the same as capture all ghosts, except now you have crows to defeat. Pretty easy, right? Rooms contain 10 to 15 crows and they can be easily defeated by charging the strobe bulb and flashing them. You can also vacuum crows, but it's slow and also inconsistent, as sometimes they will hit Luigi instead of actually being sucked up. And you know, that costs precious health. In my opinion, this is by far the easiest objective. Now that you have a general idea of what to do with the several different objectives, there are a few other things I'd like you to know about that could help you with the game. For example, there are various traps that you can get stuck in. The only way to get out of them is by someone else helping you. This can also be your Luigi, however, so if you play co-op online, this might be less of an issue. If you ever get stuck, you can press down on the D-pad to communicate help, or just simply ask for help. I didn't really talk about this before because it isn't that significant, but using the D-pad you can actually say a few different things to communicate with other players. So down D-pad is help. Often when people send help messages, it means that they got stuck in a trap themselves. There are carpets in the hallways that Luigi can get stuck in. Vacuum it to break the other player free. The carpets stick out from the rest of the carpet in the hallway and you can actually destroy it before it catches anybody. Then there are fake doors. If you open one, you'll immediately get stuck and can only be freed by another player using the suction shot, using it to break the door after pulling the plunger. The fake doors do not appear on the map and also do not have doormats, so pay attention to that in order to not get stuck. The last trap is actually present in certain rooms. There are wardrobes that swallow you whole as soon as you open them. You can recognize them with a subtle creepy face design on the wood, but it's actually pretty hard to tell. Like with the door, you can be freed by the suction shot from another player. These seem to be pretty rare as opposed to the other traps that appear very frequently in the hallways. There are also things that help you in the tower. There are various power-ups that can be found in furniture and chests scattered around the level. Personally, I recommend looking for them on balconies if there's enough time. Balconies often have chests, and the bushes and booths give out power-ups pretty frequently. As to what they are and what they do, well... there is the Starman, which is exactly what it sounds like. It makes you invincible and you can run into ghosts to destroy them instantly. You can even destroy traps with them. You can also find a map item, which immediately reveals the entire map to you, allowing you to see where points of interest are. This item is actually quite rare, it seems. There is also the Super Poltergeist, which gives you a power boost and you can instantly slam ghosts. The slams also do 40 damage, which is double from the usual 20 damage. The Super Strobe Bulb lets you flash every ghost in a single room at once. Darklight Goggles return in Luigi's Mansion 3, which lets you see hidden Darklight items. You'll still need to shine your Darklight on them to uncover them, however. A new item, and the last item on this list, is the Alarm Light. It begins to flash the closer you get to a player trap. You can also feel your controller rumble. The stronger the rumble, the closer you are to a player trap. And the last bit I'm talking about are team actions. Actions you need to perform together as a team. There are rooms with giant buttons along with a locked door in them. To open them, all players need to stand on the button with their Luigi deployed, having 8 players weighing down the button. There's always part of the objective locked behind that door, so if there's one, it's important to get there as quickly as possible. You can call for people by pressing right on the D-pad, which makes Luigi say, "Over here!" Try to pay attention to the messages people are sending and where they come from. You can see the location on the map. And with that, I think I'm done with the basics of the ScareScraper mode. In part 2, I will talk about the bosses you can find in ScareScraper and some more advanced techniques and tips. Hi guys, Lars708 here. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is actually the first time I tried anything like this with like a whole script and like editing, well, more thoroughly at least. So any feedback you have is very much appreciated. Is there anything I missed or something you want to know more about? Then let me know in the comments and I will include it in a next video. I'm planning on making more parts. Not sure how many yet, and I'm also planning on making more detailed guides for Animal Crossing New Horizons. So yeah, I don't know. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Give me some feedback, join my Discord, it's down in the description, add my Switch friend code, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye, have a nice day.